Welcome. You're in my art studio. I'm Jeannine Klein, an artist from Artist Haven AMI in Holmes Beach. I have been making pens, wooden, hand-turned, on a lathe pens. These are some of my examples of pens. I have worked hard on these pens. This is actually a pool cue, a replica of a pool cue, and it turns into a pen. And it has a stylus on the end, which is, the length of it is nice because, you know, you can sit back with your iPad and do what you need to do. More than anything, it's a novelty gift for anyone who is into shooting pool. So these are nice. These pens, I'll see if I can do it on my other camera. I've taken them and glued different woods together, and then it turns into, you know, a solid wood. And then, for example, just to show you how I do this, this is just a rough example. This one was actually one of my mistakes. But you can see I have to drill a hole in the wood block, or just wood, any kind of wood will do. I have to drill a hole. It has to be a specific hole, specific to the tubing, the copper tubing that goes into this hole here. It sits in here like so, and with a little bit of glue, it's held in. So it becomes one solid unit before it goes on the lathe. Once I have it all together, I then take it and I put it on my lathe. But yeah, okay, I should move this. Let me move this up so you can see the lathe. I believe I can just lift this up like so. So you can see what I'm doing. And I'm over here by the lathe. Okay, is it? Yes, you can see it. This is a Wen lathe. And what I do is I just take this little screw off of here. I'm fighting my microphone cable. And I'm going to take the wood off, but just imagine that the wood is on this. And I would take this and slide this on to this. Now there are these tubes that are the same size as the tube going, let's see, usually they would be this, well, it is the size of what I need because the wood is going to go down to, let me get that in there. The wood will go down to the width of this. I call them bearings, but I don't think that's what they're called. Okay, so anyway, we slide these on. So I have this with the wood, and then I have this on the other side. And then I would put more of these here so that it holds this nice and tight. And then I put this back on. It's quite the process, actually. And a lot goes into these pens. People wonder why they cost so much. These things take time to make. Okay, so once the wood is on here and it's all locked down, the lathe is turned on, it starts to spin, and then I would take my chisel and adjust this and hold this and carve away until it's right to the right length. No, right width, I should say. The right width of the tube. Now, a lot happens during this time. A lot can go wrong. and a lot does go wrong. So each pen has its own story, and I learn something from every pen that I do. So it's a work of love, and when somebody really wants one of those pens, I'm very happy because the labor of love that went in the just that goes into it, I'm just glad somebody appreciates it. So thank you for all that buy my pens. Because I don't want to be left with a lot of pens. I want to make more pens. It's fun to make the pens for me. That's why artists do their art, is because it's just fun. So it ends up, let me bring you back over here. I'm going to tip this down here. Okay, stop scrolling. Okay, this is one of my finished pens. This one is a little unique because I had to cut each groove. I cut them on an angle, and then I placed some metal in there and then worked it on the lathe, which brings more scenarios that can go wrong. Everything goes wrong with these. So they turn out nice, but trust me, every pen was a struggle. So, all right, so we start out with a piece of wood. We drill the hole. The hole, just getting the hole in there, I have a drill press. It's fun. Okay, and then the tubing goes in. The tubing I have on the lathe over here. And then once I have this piece of wood with the metal in it, and maybe I can pull this one apart. See, they just come apart. Okay, you can see that the tube is in here, and tube's in there, and then there's wood, and then there's metal, and then there's wood, and there's metal. And this is the insert. Anyway, it's in there. Just thought I'd yank this one apart so you could see. So, there's a lot of pieces to this. This, when you turn the pen, the ink comes up and down. This is the mechanism that goes inside the pen, goes up in here, and when this is turned, this moves it up and down. The reason I'm not turning this one to demonstrate is because this one was one of the first pens that I made, and somehow I have it so it's too long. If you get just a little bit too long in anything, in the cutting of the tube or anything, it won't line up and it won't turn. And that's the problem with this one. But that one's not for sale. That one is my husband's. So this is the mechanism for that. And then we have the tip. See the tip. And that goes on the end, obviously. That goes on the end. And they come in all different colors, so I can make any kind of custom pen you want. Shapes and sizes. This is the little thing that goes. I keep them in the plastic because I don't want them to get scratched before. This is like putting jewelry together. So, and this is the end, and it has a little ring, and it has, then there's another ring that goes down here. So there's quite a few parts that have to be put together once you have the wood all done on the lathe. And with this, there's quite a few different lengths. This has an angle, so, the size of the bearings have to be exactly correct. For this angle, I have to have one size here, one size here, one size here, one size here, and then put it all together. And putting it together is another, I don't want to call it an issue. It's not an issue. It's just another process because it has its own problems. It has to be put on my vise so that I can push. These pens are all pressure. You have to pressure. So I have to push this on and push this on, and if it goes on in any different angle than it's supposed to, nothing lines up. So there's so many things that go into this, so much thought, so much precision that has to be done to have it be a functional, nice looking pen. Not to mention, the woods are, some of them, I think this is orange wood. Some of them are exotic woods. So the woods, just getting the wood is sometimes expensive, but it's okay. It's okay. Some pens cost more to make and some don't. So you can kind of, have some flexibility with the pricing. I might lose some on kits that cost more. Sometimes I'll do a custom pen where I'm buying separate parts and I gotta go and spend time digging and all that online for the proper pieces, or have somebody make me a piece, somebody who's good at metalworking or molding things. There's resin pens, things like that. So it requires so many things. It requires every kind of chisel, carving things and glues and stains, and then they're buffed. So anyway, it's a craft, and there is a lot to it. So let me just show you a couple of the pens that I have. These ones are all the Q sticks, obviously. They come apart. The ink is all refillable. They're easy to buy online, and they write beautifully. I mean, they are professional pens. Great for a doctor or lawyer, a gift for somebody who has everything. Somebody who's hard at work, always writing. They feel good in your hand. There's a weight to them, so they just feel really good. I don't have a lot to display, and the reason being, they were all at Artist Haven AMI on display there. And we also are displaying them online at artisthavenami.com. That's artisthavenami.com. So if you're looking for pens, or you're looking for any other kind of handmade gift, or you just like to support local artists, please come down and see what we have and meet Lori. She's great. Her and Sean are great people. They're a lot of fun. She's always laughing. Just to stop in, you always get a lift when you talk to Lori. So yeah, so I'm Jeannine Klein, and if you have any questions, I have a Facebook page under Jeannine Klein, or Artist Jeannine Klein. You can find me on TikTok, Jeannine Klein there, or even YouTube, because I do some music, and I do other art. So there's a lot of my art on my artist page. So yeah, so thank you for listening and being interested in the art of turning pens. I'll try to put out my other video of me actually creating a pen. I did do that last year, so I will find that, and somehow, if you're interested, I'll just post it and wait and see see who likes it. So be sure to like our page, Artist AMI, and follow us, Artist Haven AMI, and be sure to follow, because that helps us so much. We really appreciate your business, and look forward to meeting you all. Okay. Bye.